Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to our Saint Stories channel. Today, I invite you to embark on a journey like no other. A journey into the heart of God's creation, as seen through the eyes of one of the Church's most extraordinary mystics, Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich. Blessed Anne, a humble and deeply spiritual woman, was graced with visions that revealed to her the mysteries of our faith in breathtaking detail. Among these divine revelations was a vision of the very moment God created Adam, and later, Eve, a scene so radiant and profound that it echoes the beauty of God's infinite wisdom and love. In this video, we will uncover the wonder of these visions. What did Adam look like as he emerged from the virgin earth, sculpted by the hands of our Creator? How did Eve come into existence, formed from Adam's side in a moment filled with divine symbolism? And what deeper meaning do these revelations hold for us as followers of Christ? Stay with us, dear friends, as we dive into this incredible story of the first man and woman exploring the grace-filled world they inhabited before the fall. Let's reflect on what this vision tells us about God's intentions for humanity and how it inspires us to live in holiness and harmony with His plan. Let us now immerse ourselves in the extraordinary moment of Adam's creation, as described by Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich. In her vision, she saw Adam not being formed in paradise itself, but in a region that would later become Jerusalem. Sacred place already set apart in God's divine plan. Picture this: the Creator begins His work with the earth itself. From a mound of golden yellow soil, Adam emerged. Blessed Anne described how he was drawn forth as if shaped by the sunbeams that bathed the earth in radiant light. It was as if the earth, blessed by God, became the womb from which Adam was born. This was no hurried act. Adam lay for a time within the hillock, resting on his left side, his arm gently thrown over his head, with a light vapor covering him like a delicate veil. Can you imagine the anticipation in the heavens as this masterpiece of God's creation began to take form? The Creator's voice called to him, and the hillock opened. Adam, glowing and pure, stepped forth gently, fully formed and dazzlingly white. A being of both flesh and spiritual brilliance, perfectly created in the image and likeness of God. The scene around him was serene and unspoiled. There were no towering trees or vast forests, only little flowers that seemed to bloom in harmony with his emergence. The sun shone brightly, casting a warm golden glow over everything, as if all creation rejoiced in this sacred moment. But God's work did not stop there. Adam was then borne up to paradise, a lush garden of unimaginable beauty. In this place of perfection, animals walked in peace, and the plants and flowers seemed to sing of God's glory. Blessed Anne saw Adam moving among them, naming each creature with a sense of natural authority, for all of creation served him before the fall. Yet, even in this state of wonder and grace, something was missing. Adam was alone. Though surrounded by beauty and life, God's perfect plan was not yet complete. As we continue this awe-inspiring journey, we arrive at the moment when God, in His infinite wisdom and love, created Eve, the crown of His masterpiece, the complement to Adam, and the symbol of harmony in His divine plan. Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich described this sacred moment with breathtaking detail. Adam, now in paradise, stood as the steward of creation. Yet in his solitude, a deeper plan was about to unfold. Near the fountain at the center of the garden, beside a gentle hill, Adam reclined, resting on his left side, his hand cradling his cheek. It was then that God placed him into a deep, divine sleep, a slumber not of weariness, but of profound purpose. In this stillness, God reached into Adam's right side, the very place that would one day mirror the pierced side of Christ on the cross. From Adam's side, the Creator formed Eve, drawing her forth with care and love. She first appeared small and delicate, but as the moments passed, she grew into full stature, radiating beauty and grace. Blessed Anne described Eve as exquisitely beautiful, her form and presence shimmering with an otherworldly purity. This moment was not only an act of creation, but a revelation of God's intention for humanity. Adam and Eve were designed to live in perfect unity, complementing one another as reflections of God's love. Together, they were clothed not in garments of this world, but in beams of light, symbols of their innocence and divine connection. As Eve stood beside Adam, the garden itself seemed to rejoice. The crystalline rocks and white pollen surrounding her formation were like ornaments of heavenly celebration. The animals, who had already been named by Adam, moved in harmony, reflecting the peace and order of this original world. Yet the most profound moment came as God bestowed a blessing upon Adam and Eve. From the Godhead, currents of light flowed into Adam's side, where Eve had been drawn forth. This light was the very germ of God's blessing, a threefold gift of divine grace and unity. Adam received this light as the head of creation, while Eve stood beside him, radiant in her beauty and dignity. They were, as Blessed Anne described, like two noble and luminous children, their forms cloaked in light, their existence filled with the joy and peace of God's presence. Adam's forehead bore an expression of great majesty, while a sunbeam played around his mouth, a symbol of his role as the speaker of creation. Eve, though distinct, was united to him in a bond so perfect that it mirrored the very love of the Holy Trinity. This was the pinnacle of God's creation, a man and a woman united in holiness, living in harmony with all of creation. It was a vision so pure and so beautiful that it inspires us even today, reminding us of God's perfect design and the sanctity of life. Now that we've explored the creation of Adam and Eve through the vivid visions of Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich, let us pause to reflect on the profound meaning behind these revelations. What do they tell us about God's plan for humanity and the life He desires for each of us? First, consider the imagery of Adam and Eve, clothed in beams of light. This radiant garment was not just a symbol of their innocence, but a tangible expression of their unity with God. In their original state, they reflected His glory, untainted by sin. This reminds us that humanity was created for holiness, to live in intimate communion with God, and to radiate His love into the world. Blessed Anne's vision also reveals the harmony of creation before the fall. Adam and Eve lived in perfect unity, not just with each other, but with all of creation. The animals followed Adam, and nature itself seemed to rejoice in their presence. This harmony speaks of God's design for peace and order, a reminder that our lives too are meant to align with His will, bringing peace to our families, communities, and the world. The formation of Eve from Adam's side is deeply symbolic. It signifies the equal dignity of man and woman, while also highlighting their unique and complementary roles. Just as Eve was drawn from Adam's side, so too was the Church born from the pierced side of Christ on the cross. This parallel invites us to see in Adam and Eve a foreshadowing of the new Adam and the new Eve, Jesus and Mary, through whom God's plan for redemption would be fulfilled. Furthermore, the light bestowed upon Adam, flowing into the place from which Eve was drawn, signifies God's blessing and the unity of marriage. This vision affirms the sacramental nature of marriage as a reflection of divine love, a bond rooted in mutual self-gift and open to God's life-giving grace. For Catholic families, this is a call to model their relationships after the harmony and holiness of Adam and Eve before the fall, striving to live as beacons of God's love. Finally, the very act of Adam's creation from the earth and Eve's formation from his side points us to our own beginnings. It reminds us of our dependence on God, our Creator, and of the dignity He has imbued in each human being. We are not mere accidents of nature, but are fearfully and wonderfully made, called to reflect His image in all we do. In reflecting on this vision, we are invited to turn our hearts back to God's original plan. Though sin has marred the world, the beauty of this vision reminds us of what we are called to restore, a life of holiness, harmony, and radiant love that glorifies the Creator in all things. As we conclude this journey through the breathtaking visions of Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich, let us carry with us the profound truths they reveal. The creation of Adam and Eve reminds us of God's infinite love, His perfect design for humanity, and the holiness we are called to reclaim in our lives. Let these reflections inspire you to draw closer to God, to live in harmony with His will, and to radiate His light in all you do. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Be sure to explore our other videos to deepen your understanding of the saints and the mysteries of our faith. Thank you for joining us today. May God bless you, and see you in our next video.